open your vocabulary app. You see a list of 50 new words. You start memorizing them one by one. Apple, banana, delicious, beautiful, important. You repeat them 10 times. You write them down. You make flashcards. And tomorrow, you forget most of them. Next week, you remember maybe 5 words. You feel frustrated. You feel like you're wasting your time. You ask yourself, why can't I remember new words? Why does everyone else seem to learn vocabulary so easily? I understand this struggle. I've worked with thousands of English learners, and almost everyone has the same problem. They try to memorize lists of words, and it doesn't work. But here's the good news. There's a better way. Today, I'm going to show you how to build your English vocabulary naturally without memorizing boring lists. These methods actually work because they use the way your brain naturally learns and remembers. Let's start. First, let me explain why memorizing lists doesn't work. When you memorize a word from a list, you're learning it in isolation. That word has no context. It has no emotion. It has no connection to your life. Your brain doesn't understand why this word is important, so it forgets it quickly. Think about your native language. Did you learn it by memorizing lists? No. You learned it by hearing words in real situations, in stories, in conversations. You learned words when you needed them. When you were hungry, you learned the word for food. When you were happy, you learned words for emotions. Your brain remembered those words because they were connected to real experiences. We need to do the same thing with English. The first method I want to teach you is learning vocabulary through stories and context. Instead of looking at a list that says, delicious means very tasty, read a sentence like this. I ate the most delicious pizza last night. The cheese was perfect and the sauce was amazing. Now you understand delicious not just as a definition, but as a feeling, as an experience. You can imagine that pizza. You can almost taste it. Your brain creates a picture, and pictures are much easier to remember than definitions. So, here's what you should do. When you find a new word, don't just write down the definition. Write down the whole sentence where you found it. Read that sentence several times. Understand how the word is used. This gives the word context, and context helps your brain remember. Let me give you a practical way to do this. Choose something you enjoy reading in English. It could be a simple story, a blog about your hobby, or even Instagram posts from someone you follow. Read slowly. When you see a new word, don't immediately run to the dictionary. First, try to guess the meaning from the context. Look at the other words around it. Look at the situation. What do you think this word means? After you guess, then check the dictionary. This process of guessing and checking makes your brain work, and when your brain works, it remembers better. After you check the meaning, read that sentence again. Say it out loud. Copy it in your notebook. Now that word belongs to a story, not just a list. The second method is learning vocabulary through your real life and interests. This is so powerful because you're learning words you actually need and care about. Think about your daily routine. What do you do every morning? You wake up, you brush your teeth, you make coffee, you check your phone. These are real actions in your life. Now, describe them in English. Use simple words at first, then add 1 or 2 new words each day. Maybe today you learn the word groggily. I woke up groggily this morning. Groggily means in a tired, confused way. You just woke up feeling like that, so now you understand this word from experience. Tomorrow, maybe you learn scrolling. I was scrolling through social media during breakfast. Now these words are not just vocabulary, they're part of your life. Here's another example. What are you interested in? Do you love cooking? Then watch cooking videos in English. You'll naturally learn words like chop, slice, simmer, boil, tender, crispy. These words will stick in your memory because you're seeing them used in real cooking situations. You're watching someone chop vegetables while they say the word chop. Your brain connects the action with the word. Do you love fitness? Follow fitness accounts in English. You'll learn words like workout, rep, set, cardio, stretch. You'll see these words every day in content you already enjoy. Your brain won't feel like it's studying. It will feel natural, like learning through living. Let me teach you a simple daily practice. Every evening, think about your day. Choose one interesting thing that happened. Now describe it in English in your notebook or phone. Use the words you already know, but try to add one new word that makes your description better. Let's say you went to a cafe today. You might write, I went to a cafe today. The coffee was good. That's fine. But maybe you want to add more detail. You remember the cafe was very crowded and loud. So you look up a word. You find bustling. Now you write, I went to a bustling cafe today. It was crowded, but the coffee was excellent. You just learned bustling in context. You connected it to a real memory. Tomorrow, when you think about that cafe, you'll remember it was bustling. This is how vocabulary becomes permanent. The third method is learning vocabulary through speaking and using words immediately. This is the fastest way to make words stick. When you learn a new word, use it in a sentence out loud within 24 hours. Don't wait. Don't save it for later. Use it now. Let's say you just learned the word exhausted. Exhausted means extremely tired. Don't just write it down and move on. Stop. Say a sentence out loud. I felt exhausted after work yesterday. Or, my friend looked exhausted this morning. Say it 3 times with different sentences. This trains your mouth to say the word. It trains your brain to think in sentences with this word. Now this word is not passive vocabulary that you only recognize when you read. It's active vocabulary that you can actually use when you speak. Here's a fun challenge you can try. Every day, choose one new word you want to learn. Write it on a small piece of paper or set it as a reminder on your phone. Your goal is to use this word in a real conversation or in your self-talk at least 3 times during the day. If you're learning the word appreciate, you might say to a coworker, I really appreciate your help. You might think to yourself while drinking good coffee, I appreciate this quiet moment. You might write a message to a friend, I appreciate you. By the end of the day, this word is yours. You used it, you felt it, you lived it. The fourth method is learning vocabulary through repetition in different contexts. Repetition is important, but not boring repetition. Not saying the same word 50 times alone. I mean seeing and using the same word in different situations. When you encounter a word multiple times in different contexts, your brain builds a rich understanding of that word. Let me show you what I mean. The first time you see the word bright, maybe it's in a sentence about the sun. The sun is bright today. Okay, you understand bright means giving a lot of light. The second time you see bright, it's about colors. She wore a bright red dress. So now you understand bright can describe colors that are strong and vivid. The third time, someone says, he's a bright student. So now you learn bright can also mean intelligent. Each time you see this word in a different context, your understanding becomes deeper and more flexible. So how do you create this repetition? Here's a simple system. When you learn a new word, write it in your notebook with the sentence where you found it. That's encounter number 1. The next day, try to use this word when you speak to yourself or write in your journal. That's encounter number 2. During the week, look for this word when you're reading or watching videos. You'll be surprised how often you start noticing it now that you're aware of it. That's encounter 3, 4, 5. After a week, the word feels familiar. After a month, it feels natural. This is spaced repetition, and it's one of the most effective learning techniques that exist. Let me also talk about learning words in groups or families. This is much more effective than random lists. Instead of learning isolated words like happy, tree, quickly, doctor, learn words that are related. For example, if you're learning about emotions, learn several emotion words together. Happy, joyful, delighted, content, thrilled. These words are similar but have slightly different meanings. When you learn them together, you understand the differences better. Or learn words about a specific situation. If you're learning about restaurants, learn words like menu, order, waiter, tip, appetizer, entree, dessert, bill. Now, when you go to a restaurant, all these words are connected in your mind. They support each other. One word helps you remember the others. Here's a practical example. Let's say you want to improve your vocabulary about weather because you often talk about weather in small talk. Don't just learn sunny, rainy, cloudy. Learn a whole family. Learn sunny, cloudy, overcast, drizzling, pouring, humid, muggy, breezy, windy, chilly, freezing, scorching. Learn them over a week or 2. Each day, check the actual weather and describe it using the right word. It's drizzling today. Drizzling means light rain. It's muggy outside. Muggy means hot and humid, uncomfortable. Now, you're not just memorizing, you're experiencing these words. You're using them to describe your real world. Another powerful technique is using visualization and association. Your brain remembers images better than words. So when you learn a new word, create a mental image or a story around that word. Let's say you're learning the word cluttered. Cluttered means messy, full of things in a disorganized way. Don't just write down the definition. Close your eyes and imagine a cluttered room. See the clothes on the floor, books everywhere, dishes on the desk. Really see it. Or think about a real cluttered space you know. Maybe your friend's room or your desk when you're very busy. Now the word cluttered is connected to a real image in your mind. When you need this word later, that image will help you remember it. You can also create funny or strange associations. These work even better because unusual things stick in memory. Let's say you're learning the word gigantic. It means extremely large. You could imagine a gigantic pizza, so big it covers your entire table, so big you can't finish it in a week. The stranger and funnier the image, the better you'll remember. I had a student who couldn't remember the word stubborn. Stubborn means refusing to change your mind. So I told her to imagine a stubborn donkey that refuses to move no matter what. She laughed, and she never forgot that word again. Now let me give you some practical resources and activities. First, change your phone and social media to English. You'll see English words every day in context. When you see settings, notifications, messages, search, these words become automatic because you use them constantly. Second, follow accounts on social media that post in simple English about topics you love. If you love travel, follow travel bloggers. If you love art, follow artists who explain their work. You'll learn vocabulary naturally while enjoying content you care about. Third, watch shows or YouTube videos in English with English subtitles. When you hear a word and see it written at the same time, your brain makes a strong connection. Pause when you find an interesting word. Write it down with the sentence. Repeat it. Here's another great activity. Start a vocabulary journal, but not a boring one. Make it interesting. For each new word, write the word, write a sentence from where you found it, write your own sentence using the word, and draw a small picture or symbol that represents the word to you. This process uses multiple parts of your brain. You're reading, writing, thinking, creating, and visualizing. All of this makes the word stick much better than just writing it in a list. Review your journal once a week, but don't try to memorize. Just read through it naturally, like you're reading a story about your learning journey. I want to address something important. How many words should you learn per day? Many apps tell you to learn 20 or 30 new words every day. That's too much. Your brain can't process that many new words deeply. Instead, focus on quality over quantity. Learn 3 to 5 new words per day, but learn them well. Learn them in context. Use them in sentences. See them in different situations. These 5 words will actually stay in your memory. Those 30 words from the app will be forgotten by tomorrow. Slow and steady always wins with language learning. Also, don't be afraid to learn the same word multiple times. You might learn a word today and forget it next week. That's completely normal. It doesn't mean you're bad at learning. It means you need to encounter that word again in a different context. The second time you learn it, it will stick better. The third time, even better. Eventually, it becomes permanent. This is how everyone learns vocabulary, even native speakers. We all need multiple encounters with a word before it becomes truly ours. Let me share one more powerful technique. Teach the words you learn to someone else, even if it's just explaining it to yourself out loud. When you explain a word, you need to understand it deeply. You need to think about the meaning, how to use it, how to give an example. This process strengthens your memory incredibly. You could find a language exchange partner and teach each other words. Or you could record yourself explaining new words on your phone. Or simply imagine you're teaching the word to a friend.
This active process of teaching makes the word permanent in your brain. Here's what I want you to remember. Building vocabulary is not about memorizing hundreds of words as fast as possible. It's about building a real relationship with words. It's about meeting words in real contexts, understanding how they're used, feeling what they mean, and practicing them until they become natural. When you learn vocabulary this way, it doesn't feel like studying. It feels like discovering. It feels like growing. And most importantly, the words actually stay in your memory. So, starting today, stop memorizing lists. Instead, read things you enjoy and learn words from context. Describe your daily life in English and add new words naturally. Use new words immediately in your speaking and writing. Learn word families instead of random words. Create images and associations. Review naturally, not by forcing memorization. These methods take a little more time at the beginning, but they save you so much time in the long run because you actually remember the words. Your vocabulary will grow naturally, like a tree growing strong roots. And before you know it, you'll be using words you never thought you could learn. Your English vocabulary is going to grow, not because you're memorizing lists, but because you're living with English every day. Keep going, stay consistent, trust the process, and watch your vocabulary become rich, natural, and permanent. You've got this.